Good morning everyone, this is Ram here. Today we are going to discuss about the basic part of data warehousing concepts and principles. I bring around 15 years of experience and we have implemented an end-to-end data warehousing business intelligence projects. More than 10 projects. So we did a lot of preaching and class taking on all the data warehousing, business intelligence, data modeling, MDM, data vault, everything, right? So let's start for today to understand what is data warehousing, right? From kernel training. Normally, right, there is a method of learning, right? Always, data warehousing is all about the thinking methods, right? And it's a concept. The concept means, right, any subject we learn is we have to understand the concept, then the context, then the content. So I request you guys just focus on the concept to understand what is a data warehouse. It's all about thinking. Remember one thing always is data warehousing is only a concept, that is an approach we apply in our industry, right? So there we'll try to implement, because there is a huge information available in the organization. It's very difficult to organize and retrieve the data, right? So let's switch to next level. Now today in a model 1, data warehousing basics and data warehousing application, warehousing data stores, and the data warehouse process, data warehousing deliverables. In this session, a demo class which we are learning. Understanding data, information and knowledge. See, normally the purpose of the data warehouse is why. You see, right? I mean, any task we do or any implementation we do, any projects we do, there is a reason that we apply our thought process and do the implementation, because it is very, very essential for business. Because business information is lying around various places in various systems, not one source systems. Right? Then we try to understand from what all the place our source information is lying, right? So that will try to extract, transform and load to store the data into a data warehouse, right? So here is as I said, realize business value, right? As a business, let me take an example of any kind. You can pick any business, right? So let's sales you can pick, right? Why I'm picking on a sales? Because it's very easy to understand, because everyone will deal with this, right? Sales, purchase, products, etc. Now the concept wise, what we have to understand is any person or any business CEO, CFOs, what they try to focus is how they can improve their business, because they have to consider in the industry they should be in the competitive, and because it's a very vast area, right? Because to survive their business, they have to do some understanding where exactly they are standing in their business, right? So for that, data warehousing is a facilitate to understand where exactly their business is standing. Normally, in other words, we say data warehousing is a decision support system, right? So our realization business value is what? First, we want to know where exactly our business is standing, right? What all our facts and figures. Then, because the reason we have to understand is we want to grow. How we can grow? We have to first understand what is our facts and figures about, for example, any product. How many products? For example, let's pick an Apple phone, right? So if the Apple organization want to understand how many Apple versions or Apple product they are selling, right? So there, for what all the geographical countries their customers are, right? So then they can plan properly, and They can understand if there is any feedback for their product, some of the product which is not selling, they can understand, right? So now, those with that, we can do the achievement. It's all about the discovering the existing one. In a simple terms, that's the reason I was trying to elaborate the business value. Done by people, right? Who does this, right? Let's say customers, me, you, or anyone, right? So we purchase a product, right? And for business guys, like any organization who is holding a roles, CFO, CEOs, they have to take a decisions because they have to ensure their business is up and running fine, right? So they want to have an insight if there is any existing problem which way they can take an immediate decisions, right? So then according to that, they have to take an innovative decisions, right? So for that, what is important? The knowledge, experience, instinct, the beliefs, right? They have to understand the history of their data, right? Because data warehousing all about extracting information from the various sources, right, with the help of technology. Then we try to store it in a data warehousing repository. Repository is nothing but where exactly we store all our information from the various source system which we extract. We'll talk in detail later about how we do extract, transform, and load, and what all the designs things which we have to do, because there is a lengthy process which to understand. But before that, as I said earlier, we have to understand the purpose of doing any project, data warehousing, right? It's not like any other transaction system. It's the beauty of data warehouse is, right, it's very challenging, and you have to do think very much analytical thinking in a 360-degree. So then you will be able to achieve what exactly the business, where exactly the business standing. And now the done by software and databases, right? These are the technologies and tools. First, guys, always focus on the concepts, right? Tools, if you learn, right, you have to focus, because if you're a fresher, if you're an expert, if you are getting into data warehousing technologies, in the program, and if you want to enable, establish your career in data warehousing business intelligence, then you have to think in the conceptual way to what exactly the data warehousing business intelligence is. Then it is very easy for you people to learn any tool, because without understanding where exactly we are heading, so it's very difficult to proceed further, right? So here database, what they does, I believe that, right, you all having an exposure on a database level, RDBMS concept, etc., right? So then descriptive information we store, and data quantity and quality wise data, there is all that will come in extract, the method of extractions, right? We'll deal with that later. Now our focus is on the understanding the basic vision of a data warehousing and why we have to make our career in data warehousing and business intelligence, right? Because it's a huge huge area. Anyone, if you believe that you can take on a challenge and do a lot of thinking, you can do R&D, etc., right? So I suggest, guys, there is a huge opportunity in warehousing, data warehousing and business intelligence environment. Maybe you guys heard about the big data, right? Maybe in webs, when you guys Google or some advertisement there and here, right? So in big data, what we do is we just do the extraction where exactly in the social media people express their concerns about a product, right? So just listen it out what I'm saying. Then if you have any questions, please raise your hands and request for a answer, right? Data, right? Data is a very interesting point, right? There is a one the saying, right? Adults cannot argue with the data. right? So data is a very much essential when we store it in another database or in the files or it's in any information. Let's say we are talking. Then when we write it, store the information, right? This is in a data which we can retrieve for some purpose, right? To understand the transaction process. So let me pick on a transactional example, right? Let's say you go in a big bazaar or any Walmart retail in the stores, just you walk in and there if you are purchasing any product, any grocery items or any essential what you were looking for, there way they store all the customer information because you are a customer for Walmart or Big Bazaar, any retail industry. Right? For example, Flipkart you buy, from Amazon you buy, right? There they ask for all your details initially because they have to track the customer information, so then they can facilitate in future very well. So the area of interest, what is your concerns and feedback for a given product, what I mean the product which you have purchased. So it will help the business to improve themselves. Right? So data is composed of individual and discrete facts that collect descriptive, quantitative, and qualitative values of business interest. Right? Quite natural. Let me go to the analysis. In a simple analysis, right? It's all about common sense. Even you guys have a very much analytical skills. It's all about we need to recognize what strengths we have. It's right when, for example, you do purchase any product, you do analysis, right? Okay, which product is good, what is your requirement, right? Then you try to extract information from the Google or some of your friends and understand which one is a better product and based on your requirement. Then what we do, we'll purchase a product, right? So in that case, right, so business want to ensure to get a more customers. For that the business has to invest time and invest on the people who are into data warehousing, right? Because it is now it's kind of the health check of on a business. In simple way, if I have to tell in simple terminology, data warehousing business intelligence is it will check the health of a business, where exactly the business health is. That when we go for a doctor, visit a doctor, they do diagnose, right? The better way, just I'm in a simple terms I used for a health check of a business. Now, if you switch to data warehousing, involves two types of data: operational data, which describes the day-to-day events, and transaction of the business. Transactions, right? We do transaction, all right. In ATM transactions, we do, all right. We go to any shop, we pay cash and we purchase a product. That's also transactions. Withdraw money and deposit money. It's also another transactions. At bank, people will store all the customer information, and in a business, they store all the customer information. Just I'm picking on these two examples, right? Because normally any business, the sales people very much interested to understand the customer insight or customer behavior, customer response, right, for their product in the market. Now, day-to-day events. Let's say yesterday you purchased, not yesterday, let's say today morning you went to any mall or not mall, you did some transaction with the Flipkart or Amazon or eBay. Then that is an event which occurred. It's very difficult to monitor transactional informations. So what we do in a data warehouse, we store information in the repository, as I mentioned earlier. So there we retrieve information for a business. So dashboards and reports, right? Ad hoc queries we do. Then we do now get an insight as a business. Then we can take essential important decisions. Informational data that are reconciled, integrated, and cleansed to constitute the raw material from which information is constructed. For example, they capture information. Everyone enter their when we go at any retail industry, retail Walmart and all. They are not much skilled people. The people who operate there, right? They try to enter the data sometimes, so not with a space, with a numeric and all, right? So when we are extracting the data from the various source systems, we have to ensure to get the clean data. Clean data means what, right? Let's pick the some name, Sachin Tendulkar, right? Sachin Tendulkar, let's say there is some there's spelling mistakes, and that all the things we cannot focus because customer name can be anything, right? Sachin Tendulkar, age, marriage, and all the information they store in the database, right? So at the same time, let's say the married or unmarried, sometimes the data entry people, they don't know what to type, or sometimes the age, sometimes they'll miss out some columns to enter the value to enter in the column. So we have to check in our database whether while extracting all this data is stored properly or not, right? Because there is a space, and when if you guys are aware of the database terminologies and how database work, right, that you can really understand how data is behaves. Okay, so that's a one term. And next, if you go, that's the purpose of cleansing part, right? We have to extract all the good cleaned informations. Now let's say information. Information is organized collection of data presented in a specific and meaningful context. As I mentioned earlier, the context is very much important. If we are, say today now, we are talking about the data warehousing concept in the context of to understand how it will enable our career, because you guys are looking for how to make a career in a data warehousing business intelligence. You all are skilled, but you, I mean, thought it right, and there is a huge opportunity, huge growth is there in the data warehousing and business intelligence. It's a challenging job. It's a very thrilling job if you do, right? The purpose of business information is to inform people and process to provide the facts and metrics vital to the process. Process, right? Sales channel process, product manufacturing process. These are the process, anything, right? Those are the information which we need to capture. Useful to the people who carry out those process information as to the collection of knowledge that is available to business people and business process. Let's say, let's say the Flipkart. Why Flipkart do advertisement and discount and all, right? They keep monitoring about what type of customers are monitoring, I mean, checking for what product, home appliances, mobiles, electronic goods, all right, books, kids toys. There are a number of products, right? Like your sports equipments, exercise equipments, right? For that, they do monitor. Then they do taken two types of decisions. They'll understand what is the customer interest of a given product. They categorize the electronic media customer in a separate way, in one bucket. Bucket is nothing but one section, or they call it as the best way to say is they categorize it in a group wise, right? The home appliances, the females dressers, female fashion designer appliance, the clothes, everything. There they categorize, they monitor based on the interest of a customers, because there's a number of customers which they browse their website. Then they monitor. Then at the same time, as I said, two types of thinking what they do. Some products which is not selling, right? They do for clearance sale. Might be you guys noticed wherever you walk in any market, if you visit any malls you visit, there are the two types, clear and sale, right? There is a manufacturing. Business has to think before they producing the product, manufacturing the product, right? There is a, let's say, Lenovo laptops or Dell laptop, HP laptops, right? There are already manufacture happened. The products are available in the stores, right? Some of the products are not selling. Then the business will take a decision, boss, I think so and so XYZ product is not selling. So which location it's selling? So they'll try to shift there, right? If there is from any store or from any location, there is no response for that product, then business will try to understand what is the problem, why our product is not selling, right? They'll try to give a promotions, they do promotions and they'll try to sell it, number one. Meanwhile, they understand what is the price and what is the product quality they have, right? These are the information they capture. Knowledge is right. I mean, pick anything, which is a data warehousing concept or any subject, right? What you currently projects which you are doing in your area, what technology you deal with, and your degree education. That's a knowledge, right? Knowledge is an awesome thing. I believe it personally, right? So knowledge is a personal and individual thing. Everyone will think the knowledge part in their own way. Here is, we leave the realm of what computers and software do, right? See, it's all about, it's all about artificial intelligence. We think and we feed and we make the system to work, does that, and enter the domain of what people do, right? There is a domain, right? Sales and so marketing, sales, manufacturing, banking, right? These are all the finance. These are all the domains which we deal with. Knowledge encompasses of the familiarity, awareness and understanding and perception of a person about a given subject. As we discussed earlier, it's for sales subject. The person perception. Person is who? The customer, right? What perception a customer made for my product. Apple product you can pick. It's a general, right? You can pick a Dell laptop or Motorola mobile and Apple mobile or anything you feel it is on a product you can think of. Knowledge is gained through many channels, including study, recall, experience, instinct, and beliefs, though these factors are different for each person. Thus, the knowledge of every individual is unique. The way I think, you think, everyone we think, it's a 360-degree way of thinking, right? That's with that, based on the knowledge, based on the source, what we understood, we learn from them, right? We all make one perception based on our knowledge and based on our experience. Actions and outcomes. Based on our knowledge, we'll take some action to purchase or not to purchase or purchase later, right? Action is a process of doing something, right? Then if I do something, if I purchase a product, that's an outcome. Okay, I purchase a product. Effective action is the process of doing the right thing. What is right thing, right? Based on our information, what we have, we interact with the people, either we'll study, right? When we'll try to understand about the product before we purchase. That is very much important, right? This is normally we call it in a business terminology, buying with a smartness, right? It's not that buying any product, okay, just I have money, I have dollar and I have rupees, just I go and pay it and purchase. No, it's not right. We have to think fast. Okay, is it really required for me, right? Do I have the budget to purchase the product, right? Then I see, okay, so worth to purchase, then I purchase it. That is an outcome. It is described as a process because this is also process, what we think and all, right? We need to look beyond the event of doing and consider the activities and behaviors that lead to the event. Event what occurred? I purchased a product, the transaction has happened, I paid the money, I purchased a product. This is an event occurred, right? Any combinations of insight, results, decision and innovation, many drive a person to act, the doing part of action. Action what you have taken to purchase the product. That's one. Maybe we can ignore it, we'll purchase later, maybe not interested in the product. Why I'm describing in a very much plain way is it's all about common sense, right? For any business, they'll be having a huge information, right? So the tools, data warehousing is a method to apply and extract, transform and load from the various, extracting from the various source and store it in a data warehouse repository. And with the help of business intelligence, what they do in a dashboard, in a reports, they understand their business data, right? That is an outcome. So just I was trying to correlate here because it's always good to give a example of the current scenario, what environment we are aware of. Outcomes are the result of the action. Favorable business outcomes are generally thus the reduce cost, save time, optimize, resource increase. Simple. It's all about fine tuning what we do. Simple, right? Let's say one of our friend purchased a product. Normally we say, right? Oh, hey buddy, you purchased a product. Okay, how you feel that it's good, and what is the drawbacks? What is your feedback? Right? We all feedback will take, and because we exchange information, we exchange the knowledge here about the product before I purchase. So your friend can say, hey Matt, I think this product, I think initially I felt it was good. So then it's a waste of money because it's I think it's not worth to buy, right? Hold on guys, just a moment. Impact and value. Value is realized at the bottom line of a business. Simple. At the value. There's two ways, right? For independent person like me, you all, we purchase a product based on the decisions, what information we have, what is information is available. We'll try to discuss with the different people. That is a force of information we extract. Extract is what? Information we extract, then we does thinking process. Data warehousing is a process which will help us to process huge information like terabyte of data, right? Then it will help for a business to take an decisions. If it's a small information, we can accomplish in Excel sheet, right? But for any business, it's a huge information. It's very difficult for them to capture, right? When outcomes reduce a cost or increase the revenue either directly or indirectly. Simple. If there is no product is selling, they'll try to reduce the cost, right? Then if some product is selling and they're having a good features, they'll try to, based on the market understanding, they'll try to increase the cost, and that will help on a business how best quality they can give to the customers. It will help the business, and the customers will get a good products. The value of an action is determined by the outcomes produced. The value of information is derived through contribution to valued action, providing support for insight, resolve, decision, and innovation. As we discussed earlier, it's all about the process to get an insight. If there is a small product which I am buying or you are buying, and we interact with our friends, I will try to Google it, what is the product feedback and reviews, because it's the one product we purchase. Because for a business, they need to deal with a n number of clients, right? So that's the reason they try to capture all the information and to store in a data warehouse and understand how best they can take decisions. The value of data warehouse depends entirely on the value of information services that it delivers. Warehousing data stores, as was discussing, right? All about how source data. Here just we pick to make it simple, right? See, always I sense one thing, guys. So it is things if how keep it simple. So SASE thing and the 3D waves and all. Yeah, we have to do it. I'm not denying for that the 3D sounds good. But when we are understanding, when we are learning, we have, instead of visualizing or imagining, we have to try to understand what is the basic concepts. Then it will help us to go further level to understanding. Now, what major stuff happen in the warehousing data stores? Normally, any warehouse. Warehouse is not just the English word where everyone store, right? For example, DHL courier or any couriers, the large couriers like cargo, they store information, right? So Blue Dart, everything, right? So where we store the data. Here is there they store a product, physical products. Here we store the information of the products. So now source data, source to warehouse ETL. Simple. ETL, let's not get confused. ETL, they're all, everything is in each subject areas, which technology, which we have to understand thoroughly, right? So then just this is to make it very simple. Source data, source to warehouse ETL, and then we do staging. Staging is the better way. Ralph Kimball is a guy who is very much popular. I think he's now is almost retired. There are the two guys. We'll talk about Kimball and Inmon. The industry call them as the father of data warehouse. Staging. The Kimball explains that, right? For example, we have to prepare a food, right? We purchase the vegetables from a market, from a outlet, right? Vegetables. Then we bring in home and try to cleanse it. I mean, clean, cut. These are the things, right? We do in a staging environment. We bring, it's a backroom work, what we do. Right? The Kimball says it's a backroom work where before we start cooking, we does all the, based on our requirement, what recipe we want to have. So that is an intake, integration, distribution, delivery, and access. Just try to understand only the simple terminologies, because it's, see, using a big words and the scary words, those things will make people confused than understand. Once we extract data into staging environment, we do all things which is required. Then from staging, we do integration. Integration is nothing but an extract, transform, load. There is various tools available in the market. They'll be try to, based on that, we take a help of those tools based on our customer decisions. Then we do integration part. Then we distribute data based on the design. Design, data modeler or dimensional modeler, they take a decision based on our business requirement. We'll talk later. This is for these all the explanation to understand any layman, right? People, there's see, everyone have analytical skills, everyone are capable to do anything, but I personally suggest there's a huge opportunity. Everyone have common sense, everyone do analytical thought process, right? So then it's just a way of there's a method or approach, so you guys can achieve it very easily. So data warehouse, they store with the help of integration, staging to data warehouse. Then they distribute based on the model or design. We'll talk when we talk about data modeling, dimensional modeling, right? Then you guys will get a more insight. It's just overview which we are giving. Then distribute, then we deliver. Deliver where? We call it as a data marts, star schema. Maybe you guys heard or not, I'm not sure. But normally the star schema is what? The method where we apply the dimensional modeling we do in a dimensional denormalizing approach. That's where it looks like a star, one fact in between, and for each corner there is a 4 dimension they kept To make it simple, they call it as a star schema. Okay. The cubes. Cubes again is a concept, guys. Cube is a concept. Let me tell you one more thing. Underline this. Data warehousing business intelligence is a concept. Remember and underline it. Okay. The tools will take a help of tools to achieve our business vision. Simple. Okay. Web reports, spreadsheets, there are various sources available. When we'll keep learning, right, in the data warehouse, when you enter the wonderful world of data warehouse and business intelligence, then you'll get opportunity to see and explore. Then there with the data warehouse, we do queries and analysis. Queries what? With the structured query language, we do extract from the data warehouse. We'll talk later when we'll talk about the structured query language and how we are going to do the learning and all. Right? Business intelligence tools. These are just tools, right? With the tools, we do access. This like any report, right? Which with the help of that, we learn it. And especially for business intelligence tools, basically for all business guys, the let's say sales manager, our department head, right, our finance manager, our human resource or HR manager, or business head for the location regional manager, right, those guys will get the information on the business intelligence tools. From there they access. Intake, as I described, data stores with the intake responsibility receive data into warehousing environment. Data is acquired from multiple source system of varying technologies at a different frequency and into numerous warehousing files and or tables where we store. Further, the data typically requires many and diverse transformation. Most data is extracted from operational systems. Operational what? Right? Transactional process where we extract information. Data is most certainly not all clean. As we discussed, the clean information, as I said, right, Kimbal mentioned, we do work in the back room of cleaning, right? When we bring the vegetables to prepare our food, so we do cleaning part, right? Data cleansing is commonly performed as a part of the intake process to ensure completeness and the clean data. Right? You should have a quality of information what we are extracting, the quality of information which we have to provide to our business. That's now the interesting area, and there are a lot of technical skills is required to achieve this. Integration. Integration describes, sorry guys, integration describes how the data fits together. The challenge for the warehousing architect is to design and implement consistent interconnected data that provides readily accessible, meaningful business information. That all which I have described when we are showcasing that the architecture of a simple process of warehouse stores. Integration occurs at many levels: the key level, the attribute level, the definition levels, the structure level, and so forth. Data warehouse types, there are as I was mentioning the names, right? Bill Inmon, additional data cleansing process behind those performed in the intake may be required to achieve desired levels of data integration. Distribution, we distribute the data. Stores with the distribution responsibility serve as a long-term information assets with a broad scope. Business will have a scope, what they want to do the analysis, they want to understand, right? Distribution is a progression of a consistent data from such as data store to those data stores designed to address specific business needs, right? Then finally we deliver to business. Then with the help of data marts, data views, multidimensional cubes, web reports, spreadsheets, queries, they'll understand. With the tools, they do access all the information which we stored in the cube fashion. all integrated information. Let's say now the Kimbal approach. Source data, what he does almost intake, integration, distribution, delivery, access. Like these all the data marts which looks as a cube in the data warehouse. They store for a human resource department, finance department, sales department, marketing department, right? They store information in the data marts. Then from there they do query analysis. With the help of business intelligence tools, they do extract the information. This is a Kimbal approach. Now, Inmon approach. What Inmon does? The same, but intake, integration, and distribution. Right? From data warehouse, he store all the information, and from there he feeds the data into the data marts. As per Inmon, it's a enterprise data warehouse. Right? Here, Inmon, what it does, he'll try to focus on the large context, and Kimbal will try to focus on the department-wise context. Again, the query and analysis and business intelligence tools. This is a Inmon and Kimbal. They have a different approaches. We'll explain in detail what Inmon thought process and what Kimbal thought process. The data warehouse. As previously discussed, Inmon defines a data warehouse, a subject. These are the characteristics. Okay. Inmon is a guy who identified the initial first, right? In 1992, he introduced to the industry how data warehouse, the approach will benefit to the industry or business, right? You can say that Inmon is on a first for, that doesn't look good, right? He's on a first innovation. Is a guy who did it. He said subject oriented, as we said, sales subject, marketing subject, human resource subject, finance subject. Integrated, because we have to do the integration because huge information is available in our business systems, operation systems. Non-volatile, time variant, collection of data organized to support management needs or business needs. WH Inmon database, you can Google it, you'll get this about Inmon detailed information. The intent of this definition in the data warehouse serves as a single source hub of integrated data. Normally, many people use the single source of truth. Here, in a data warehouse, we store the information from extracting from the various source and feeding the data into a data warehousing and repository. Right? That we call it as a single source of truth. Okay. The Inmon data warehouse has a roles of intake, integration, and distribution. Kimball's definitions, see, is a bus architecture. Right? That's a bus architecture. All the things we'll discuss later. Kimball defines the warehouse as nothing more than the union of all the constituents of a data marts. Kimball, or you can just go through the warehouse life cycle toolkit book. You can Google it. It's a good book. You can purchase and learn. This definition contradicts to the concept of the data warehouse as a single source hub. The Kimbal data warehouse assumes all data store, roles, intake, integration, distribution, access, and delivery. These are the two normally industry says the fathers of our warehouse of concept. If the Kimball's definition is different, as you guys saw earlier, Kimbal approach, and here you go, differences in practice, right? You see, I say something, some other person say something, right? What is the basic need is it fulfilling my requirement, my purpose? That is the basic thing. Simple. Whether you've taken any purchase, any mobile, any laptop or desktop, or anything you purchase, is it really fulfilling your needs? Then it's worth to buy it. If that is just you have to put extra money just for something different, then it's a waste of money. Simple common sense, right? You guys are aware of it. So that's all about we have to think about Hub and spoke architecture, I don't want to confuse you people about, because you guys are just entering into the warehouse concepts, etc. Just you aware of these words, that's all for time being, right? And bus architecture, Kimball says. Inmon says hub and spoke architecture. Here it comes the difference. Inmon warehouse, files their intake role but may be downstream from staging area. Okay, what is that? Files you can call it, files from database we read, extract information, that all. Downstream from staging area, right? When you will try to explore in some next classes, right, we'll be able to understand what is the Inmon approach. Normally in practical scenario in the business, Kimball and Inmon hybrid approach always works well. Therefore, it depends on the organization, their thought process, they take decisions. Files and intake roll downstream from the back room to transit staging. It's all about, right, Kimball says, back room, we do all cleansing and all the information. Here, Inmon says, down from staging area. Integration, primary integrated data store will data at the atomic level. Atomic level information, we'll talk later in the coming up classes. Here, integration through standards and conformity of data marts. Data mart is a subject oriented and for a given department, we call it. There's a lot of other data marts, independent data mart, dependent data mart. Let's not get into all those now for time being, because it's good to learn. It's not good to get confused, right? Distribution of a database, the data designed and optimized for distribution to data marts. Data modelers, dimensional modelers who will take responsibility of designing and optimizing with the business after discussion with the business. Distribution of insignificant because data marts are a subset of data warehouse. Kimball says is a subset, but Inmon don't say it, right? Inmon think enterprise data warehouse is for complete organization. It's a warehouse, right? May provide limited data access to some power users. Power users are who? CU, CFOs, right? Those guys will take decisions, right? If they take a decision, if they'll be able to access the single source of truth data, what is the facts and figures of their business, right? Then they can take a wise decision about for their business, how they can enhance their business, and specifically designed for business access and analysis. Kimball says this is just a subject oriented, just for like finance manager or HR manager or sales manager information. Never get follow. What I'm trying to say is, don't try to follow the Kimball or Inmon. Okay, don't get confused. What it will work for business, that is the right approach, right? So these are nothing to worry. If you are at an architect level, then you guys will be in the decision position based on the business needs. Whether we have to take an Inmon approach or Kimball approach, it's all about achieving the business. Now, delivery not designed or intended for delivery. What Inmon says, both this is helpful for business, which will accessible to information. It will help for a business to take major decisions. Support delivery for information to the business. Never get into this English, as I said, which will help the business. That is approach we have to follow. Simple, right? Data warehousing deliverables. It's data warehousing business intelligence. There is a very long way to go if you are getting into, but it's a very interesting, guys. Very challenging, very thrilling. At the same time, the good pair in the market. Okay. Data warehousing, we'll talk all about data warehousing deliverables in the later classes. That what all the things, just bullet points, just I want to showcase to you guys. Data warehousing program, charter, warehousing readiness assessment, define business architecture, defining the data architecture. Warehousing deliverables, lot of things project managers is involving in the data warehouse project. The senior architect, data architect is involved, right? Technical architect will be involving in this whole app. Reporting architects will involve, like Cognos, business objects, ClickView, MicroStrategy architects will involve in the taking decisions. ETL, like ETL architects, Informatica, BODI, business object data integrator, Oracle data integrator architects, or SSIS, Microsoft ETL tool, right? Data stage tool. Right? There is a Pentaho Talent is an open source tools. There are awesome tools. Okay. Now, these are, and business analyst is a very key guy here. These all the, I mean, everyone will play a very key role here. We'll understand in later classes. All people does is with a business analyst, whoever want to go into the business, and that person should be a domain expertise for a finance or say marketing or sales on human resource. It's all about, see, we business analysts understand their domain properly in and out, right? What is a better approach they have to do, right? Architect will take a decisions of how best the systems we have to decide and design. It can be a Kimbal, it can be an Inmon, it can be hybrid, right? Business analyst applications deliver data warehousing capabilities. Operations, business services, data refresh, managed platforms, managed environment, customer service, managed quality managed, infrastructure. This is a huge subject area, right? It's not bulbulaya, it's very interesting Jew. But this will promise, right? This will help you guys to enable your career, and it's a, you can say it's a very much good pair. I suggest if you believe yourself, you get into. If you guys please have any questions, feel free to ask. Hello. Okay. Now, thanks for attending the demo class. Take your time and take wise decisions. It will enable your career. That is for sure. There is no second thought about it.